Hey everybody, I got a Maytag Commercial Washer here that I need to do some work on. It's been a pretty decent washer, but my wife came and told me that the agitator, basically after doing a load of clothes, the top part of the agitator was just laying down along with a screw, a very small screw at the bottom. So what I found out is if you can look at this, you'll see how the screw actually ripped out of its space on one side. And that allowed the agitator to actually just come out, like the top part of the agitator. So I've got the parts. So I will be back. Now what I did do is I ordered the parts that I need. Basically you need, you're going to need this part. And there's a 7/16 inch bolt that you would need to take out down there. Now I sprayed some PB Blaster down there so that I'll be able to take that out easy, but I'll be right back. So you have this piece here that's actually supposed to fit inside, all the way inside of this piece, the bottom part of this agitator. It's supposed to actually fit inside of this hole. And if you see the screw, there's a screw on this side, and there's another screw that goes in this hole right here. Now I've got that screw in the other room, but basically what happens is, I guess over time, if you overload the washer, put too many clothes in there, this can actually shake itself to the point where it can actually rip out through this piece of plastic, if you can see that. So I also ordered this piece as well, because trying to get this out of another piece turned out to be a little bit more difficult than what meets the eye. So I ordered this piece because this ended up breaking right here and right there. It ended up breaking right there in two spots. So I'm going to be getting another one of these as well. So basically, this is the agitator, the top part of it. This is the dispenser right here, the little dispenser. And I'm going to describe here, because this is the piece that was just laying inside of the washer with the clothes. So it basically ripped off of this piece down here. But when you're taking this apart, and this is really like an unfortunate thing, at least for me, is that if you look right here, so first you would pull this off, right? You pull this off. So you pull that off. And if you look right here, there's a couple of tabs on each side. So there's a tab there, right? See that tab? It goes in that, it goes in this slot, right? It goes inside of this slot. And there's a tab on the other side. Now, unfortunately, in my case, when I pressed on the tab on this side, it wound up breaking this plastic here. That's supposed to be a whole piece going across. So I ordered this as well, this piece right here. So if you're ever going through this, be very careful about taking this piece off of this piece, because you can wind up breaking, both parts. So yeah, I've ordered this piece as well, because if you see, like, it's broken, that tab is broken on this side. So if you break, this piece and this piece, now you have two more pieces that you need to order, instead of just the one piece, that piece down there. So I would just advise, to be kind of careful when you're trying to pull this apart. I was careful, but it still broke. Like, I took precautions to not have that occur, but as you're fixing things, sometimes more issues pop up. So I'm going to be getting this piece, and this piece, along with the other piece that I showed earlier that actually screws inside of this. So that's like 4 pieces, that needs to be ordered and replaced, just because that screw ripped out of this piece here. So I'll be right back. Okay, so here's the old piece. I replaced everything, and here's the new all of the new pieces here. Just a couple of notes for this. Okay, so this top part is the soap dispenser. It comes off really easy. All you do is basically just pull that off. So generally, like, that just comes off. This part, this top piece here. But really, the issue that you're going to have is taking off this piece right here. What I would say do, if you're having a hard time taking this off, which I did, because what they tell you to do, or what I saw somebody say to do, right, was take a screwdriver and press in on those tabs. Well, the problem with that is, this is what can happen. You can wind up with this piece broken, basically this whole piece, right, broken at the top, along with a broken tab. See the broken tab? So this doesn't actually press in. This doesn't actually press in as easily as what they say it does. It doesn't. So if you're not able to press it in, and you're not having any luck actually being able to take it out that way, I would say take like a plastic putty knife, something plastic, and try to squeeze in here to try to pull this out, to try to pull it out. What I noticed is that there is a slot here. So, for an example, there's a slot. So if you look here, there's like an insertion slot, and it may be actually a way to actually take this out more easier. So if you set this inside of this slot, set that inside of this slot like this, right? Set it down, and then twist it into that piece right here. That would actually lock that into place. But it may be a good idea just to leave this inserted in this spot here. It's going to make it a lot easier to be able to get in there and just pull it out. See? And it really shouldn't come out anyway, but if it starts to come out, then go ahead and lock it inside of the lock spot, okay? Now, this piece here, once you undo the bolt, take the dog ears out, there's going to be a bolt with a plastic piece and a washer in there. That's going to be, just take your time with that. I would say put some PB Blaster on that. Let it set for a few hours, maybe even overnight. And then come and take it off, because it was very hard getting that bolt out. It really was. Like, it was ridiculously hard, but I got it out. So once you take that off, then you come to this piece. This piece is probably the hardest piece to actually take out. There's a couple screws that you have to unscrew, one on this side, one on the other side. Once you do that, you can't just pull it out. You're going to have to take a rubber, like a putty knife, a plastic putty knife. You probably need 2. Yeah, take two. And get around the side and peel this back just enough so that you can actually pull this up, right? But you got to do this on two sides. So you got one here, one here. Once you do that and get that side up enough, right? Go to the other side and also put a piece on one other side and then maneuver this out. Okay? Because you don't want to wind up breaking these tabs off. You really don't want to do that. So once you get this out, then basically there's another 7/16 inch. Also that is size is also an 11 millimeter as well. You can use an 11 millimeter. I used an 11 millimeter. It did just fine. And don't forget, there's a black washer that also is under that bolt too. So with that, till next time, see you next time.